Hello, in this video I'll share with you 100 hidden tips and tricks for your iPhone in upcoming year 2025. I have prepared 100 hidden tips and tricks, including some of the newest ones on iPhones. And I'm really excited to share them with you. Feel free to get a coffee or a tea, sit back and watch the video. If you'd like, you can also follow these steps on your iPhone to see how they perform. Now, most of these tricks will work on most iPhones. Some of them will only work in iOS 26 or newer, which is currently the newest version of the system. Some of them also will work only on some most recent iPhones, including 15, 16, and 17, or even just 16 and 17, or the 17 only. But feel free to test them out yourself to see which ones actually work for you. Now, the first one I'd like to share with you is missed call reminders. When you get a call and you miss it and you can't call back now, you can get a reminder about it if you like. You can just go to Phone app and select Calls. Now, find the call that you missed and slide it to the left side. Now, find this clock icon and now you can select the time of the callback reminder. Another tip is color matching your icons on the home screen. You can change the colors of your icons, and there's many different possibilities of doing that. Just press and hold on your home screen, then select Edit, Now Customize. You can change the size of your icons if you like, but they don't have labels if they are big icons. Now, let's see. There's default icons, there's dark icons, and you can set them to always or auto. Auto will automatically change between default and dark, depending on whether you have light or dark mode set on your iPhone. You can go to clear, and in clear, you can also set it to light, dark, or auto. Then you can set tinted as well, and tinted can be set to any color of your choice, but also can be color matched to the color of your iPhone. You can see I have the blue one. It can be also matched to your case. I don't have a case on, so it will automatically set itself to transparent. But if you have the official Apple case, then you can press and hold, select Edit, Customize, then Tinted, and tint it to the color of your case. You can see I have this dark brown one, and it matches to my case, which is really, really cool. Now, you can also match it to the wallpaper or select a certain color from the wallpaper to match it to that. I think I'll still with this color, and now you can see widgets are also colored, but I don't want the photos to be colored. I want them to be shown in full color. What you can do is press and hold, then select edit that certain widget and always display in full color. Now it is being displayed in full color, which is really cool. Now we'll get to Messages app. There's a few things that I'd like to show you in the Messages app, so let's begin. First thing is select copying messages. That's what I called it. In the past, if you'd like to copy a message, you would have only one option. Just press and hold on it, and then click on copy. And you copy the whole one, but maybe you just want to copy an authentication code or something else from your message, not the whole one. What you can do now is press and hold and select copy. Press and hold and select select. Now, use these pins to adjust the text that you'd like to copy. I'll just copy this code and tap on copy. That is super easy. Now, another thing that you can do, I have it already set here, is messages background. You can set any background whatsoever. And let's try to do it here. Okay, I have it set here already. Let's try to do it here then. Select the contact, then tap on backgrounds. Now select a photo if you'd like to set a photo. You can set anything from your phone. I would obviously recommend something that isn't too distracting, but it's all up to you. Let's try seeing this photo because it looks really good. Instead of photos, you can also select something else, which I'll also show you. You can set a color. It will be moving, as you can see, and there's different colors, but you can also customize them yourself. And there's also playground, so you can generate the background with AI. You can use sky, water, or aura themes as well. Now, once we have that done, let's see some other possibilities. Translating messages is now possible. You can see I already have done that a moment ago with one of my friends. I said something in English and it translated it to French. Then they said something in French and it was translated to English. To use it, you can select the person's name, then enable automatically translate. Select the language to translate from. I will select French and it'll be translated to English. That's what I use, right? Now you can see it is enabled and I can now receive a message. So I'll quickly receive a message. As you can see, it is received and it is translated. Then I can, because I sent it in French from that other phone, then if I say something like, hey there, you can see it shows me the translation, I can send it, and it is sent. Pretty cool. You might have noticed that I have a poll here, and this is extremely useful for things like group chats. If on a group chat you'd like to create a poll, if you cannot decide on something, you can click on plus and select this new feature, which is poll. Add choice 1, choice 2, 3, and even more, and then add a comment and send it. Then they can vote on different possibilities. Another thing in messages, which you can already see here, is send later. You can schedule messages to be sent later. And I have scheduled it for Wednesday, which is in 2 days, on 8 a.m. And then it will be sent so that person can then reply. Let's click on plus and send later. Select the time that you'd like to send your message at and enter the message. Then select send and it will appear like this with the text that says send later. Now, let's get to another thing, which is deleting two-factor authentication codes after use. If you receive two-factor authentication codes in your messages, you can automatically get them deleted once you use them so they don't really spam up your inbox. To do it, go to Settings and go to General. Then find Autofill and Passwords and select Delete After Use. Now, whenever you get a verification code and use it using Autofill on your keyboard, by just clicking on the keyboard to autofill the code, it will automatically delete the message once the code is used. Another thing is sending best quality photos and messages, because iMessage is the only communicator that allows you to send best quality photos without compression. And to actually use that, you need to scroll all the way down and select apps, then go to messages, and now you will find the option that says send low quality photo previews, and that must be disabled for you to have full quality photos sent. But remember that if you enable it, then then you will use less data. Now let's go to another thing in messages, which is editing and unsending messages. what you can do is press and hold on a message that you'd like to edit. Let's press and hold, then click on edit. Now, instead of hey there, I would like to say, for example, WhatsApp. Oh, not that WhatsApp, right? And let's approve it. And it also works with translation. You can also, as you can see, it says it's been edited. You can see the history, but your recipient cannot see the edit history. So that's great. You can press and hold and unsend a message if you don't want that message to be shown anymore. Just press and hold, as you saw right here. Press and hold, then select more. Click on this button. No, sorry, that does not unsend the message. Unsending the message should work differently, I believe. Okay, unfortunately, you're not able to do it while you have a message scheduled. So that is a little bit of a problem. But now I can do it, I think, only with the last message. We'll try that. You can press and hold and select undo send. So I'll try sending another message. And we'll see. Now for sure I can delete this message. Once it's delivered, it should already be delivered. I don't know why it's not refreshing. Okay, I can undo send it, and I can also undo send this message. So yeah, that's great. Let's undo send the test message, and you can see it says you unsend a message, and your recipient also sees it as a message being unsent. Now let's go out of the messages and let's go to some other features and possibilities, which is, for example, custom ringtones. You can set a custom ringtone now pretty easily by setting a MP3 file as your ringtone. Let's go to the Files app. Let's see if I have any files to set. This one has 2 minutes and 57 seconds. It is going to be too long, and I will not be able to set that because the file must be at max 30 seconds. So we'll get to that in just a little moment. I'll just listen to that. Yeah, okay, it's gonna be fine. Now I'll need to edit it, and I'll just go to some like tool online, like crop MP3, and I'll get that done, then I'll show you everything. Okay, I have now downloaded the file. Let's go to Files and now select the downloaded file. You can see it now has 27 seconds, I believe, right? Let's see that. Yeah, it's around 28 seconds, so it should be fine. You can now click on Share button, then click on More. Now, use as ringtone, and you can see it is now available, and I have it set as my ringtone. So that is great. Of course, if a file that you have is already under those 30 seconds, then you don't need to edit it. Now, let's see another thing, which comes down to microphone. First thing will be voice isolation. You can isolate the noises in the background live on your iPhone. To do it, open any app that you use microphone in. I will open voice notes, but it can be when you're on a call. It can be when you're recording a video or anywhere else. On some voice chat, anything. Let's go to voice memos. In my case, let's start recording one. Now my microphone is being used, which is indicated by this orange dot. I'll slide down from the right top part of my screen to go to the control center. Now select the controls, and I can set my audio and video to voice isolation. For some reason I cannot do that now. Maybe it isn't available in voice memos. I'll try doing that somewhere else. Let's see if I can do it while recording a video. I still cannot do that. Okay, whatever. Okay, fortunately, I can do it on a FaceTime call, for example, by sliding down from the right top part, and now I can select voice isolation, so the noises in the background will be muted. That is really cool, I think. And now, let's see another thing, which is Studio Voice. Studio Voice will cut out the noises, but after something is recorded in the Voice Memos app. So let's go to Voice Memos. Let's try recording something, and I will sort of click somewhere, maybe get a sip of coffee, and let's see how it performs. I'll also move something around, and now let's click on 3 dots and select Studio Voice. Now I'll play it. And I will sort of click somewhere, maybe get a sip of coffee. And let's see how it performs. And now it sounds more professional. And what you can also do is click on it. Click on this button here. Then click here in bottom right corner and adjust the Studio Voice intensity, for example, to 100. I'll also move something around, and it'll be even more compressed. You can just do it however you want. Now, let's go to another thing. You can see I have always on display on, which is this dark screen. You can now customize it. You can enable or disable it, of course, and it displays all the time unless my phone screen is fully covered. If it is, then it'll probably recognize that I can turn the screen off. Yeah, you can see, but if it's not, then it's just showing there, showing the time all the time. Let's try to enable and disable it and also customize it a little bit. So go to your display settings in the settings app. I'll actually switch back to light mode for today. I just prefer it on the video. Always on display, and you can enable or disable it here, but you can also customize it. You can stop showing the wallpaper. Now it'll just be a dark screen with the clock, which you cannot see. I can see it pretty well, but on camera I can see it's not really well visible, but it is there. I can assure you it is there. You can blur your wallpaper photo, so it'll sort of appear blurred. Or not. Now it's gonna be blurred. Yeah. And you can show notifications or not. Now another thing, it is also in your messages, but not only. It's everywhere where you can use Genmoji. Genmoji is this Apple Intelligence feature that lets you create emojis out of a prompt that you ask it, and you can send it as an actual emoji in your text, not as a picture. But now, not only that, but you can also do mixmojis, which will let you mix multiple different emojis into one. Let's try doing that. I will go to messages, but you can use it anywhere else where Genmoji is available. I'll click on plus here, then Genmoji. And then you can describe a Genmoji, which is there, has been there for a year, this feature, but you can mix emojis. Let's try mixing this laughing emoji with the bow tie. And now that is a little weird, but let's try sliding it. Let's see what it gives us. It is giving weird things. I was not expecting that at all. Let's try something else. Maybe a farmer with a construction worker hat, and you can choose a gender here if you like. No, sorry, just a person. You can choose a person here. If it is an emoji that can be selected with a person, with a human, you can actually click on edit, and actually you can set the gender. So that is cool, and you can also set the skin tone if you like. And you can still add a person to that by I think you should be able to do that. Okay, it should find people here. If it found any, then you would have the button. And yeah, you can see now I have a farmer in the construction hat. I can also select the skin tone and the gender, as I said. And now I have that farmer. That is pretty cool, I think. And now let's do another thing, which is lens cleaning hints. If you're like me, and no matter how you touch your iPhone, the lens on your iPhone are always dirty. This is going to be something for you. You should get to settings, go to camera, then go to your lens cleaning hints. Make sure it's enabled. And now when you open the camera and the lens is dirty, let's try making it a little dirty. Let's see if it discovers it now. Not yet. I'll get it a little more dirty. Okay, I was trying to get it dirty, and whenever I want to do something, it always fails, but it really works. I have tested it, and you will just get a small notification at the top that says you need to clean your lens because they may be a little oily or something, which I think is really good. Now we'll get to Apple Music. We'll have a few things in Apple Music, and I'll switch the phone for that for a moment, just because I have Apple Music on this one. Now you can pin your playlists in Apple Music, so you have easy access to them. To do that, go to Playlists and select a playlist that you'd like to pin. Press and hold on it, then select Pin Playlist. Now you can see it is pinned to my very top. I can click on it to start playing it, but if I want it, I could also press and hold again, and this is another tip, and select tap action. And now, when I tap on the playlist, I can select so that instead of going into the playlist, it will automatically start playing it or automatically start shuffling it. And I'll select this one because I do like having my playlist shuffled, so when I tap on it, it starts playing already. Now, another thing with your Apple Music is translating the lyrics. I will try to open a song and we'll try to get it translated. For this song, I cannot really translate it because that feature for this song wasn't added yet, but I can show pronunciation for Korean. So let's click on this icon right here and select show pronunciation. Now you can see we have the pronunciation, so now you know how to sing that song. And for other songs, you can see you can have the translation as well. So as you can see, I have it in the original language as well as the translated version. Now, the last thing about translation here is that if you don't use the translation, rather the pronunciation, like here, you can go to your settings and change which is shown as bigger, the pronunciation or the translation. To do that, go to the settings, go to apps, and then find music. Now we'll find the lyrics translation, larger text, and set it to pronunciation if you'd like. Now, as you can see, the pronunciation is bigger than the text. Let's go to another feature. When you play a song that has an animated artwork, you can actually have it animated on your lock screen. To do it, go to your lock screen, and you can see you can tap on the artwork to put it on full screen, and it'll be animated. That's what happens in iOS 26. Now, let's go out of the Apple Music and let's see other stuff. While we're already on the lock screen, let's see some lock screen stuff. Let's do spatial scenes because you can create a spatial scene on your lock screen. So if you have a photo of a certain subject somewhere here, let's find a photo with a subject. I think this one would be really cool, right? Let's set it as my wallpaper, so I'll just share it and use as wallpaper. Now I'll set it for my lock screen. I'll show you some other customization tips for your lock screen. Just a moment, but first thing is the spatial scene. Click here, and now it'll start generating the spatial scene. Now, as I move my iPhone around, you can see it works as in 3D. Another thing that you can do on your lock screen is extending the clock. You can make it longer so it looks really cool and pretty modern. But even if you don't extend it, and if you'd like to move the widgets to the bottom, you can, because of course you can add widgets here. If you'd like to move them to the bottom, just slide them down, and they are on the bottom of the wallpaper. Another thing is adjusting your clock transparency. You can click on it and you can set it to solid or glass. When it's set to glass, you can have different colors here, but you can adjust the transparency of the clock to make it even as transparent that it's almost invisible. Depends on how much you want to check time, and if you don't want to check the time, you can have it like that. Of course. Yeah, you can see as I turn the slider up, it gives it a more frosted look. Another thing is disabling the liquid glass when we're on that stuff already with frosted glass and transparent glass. I could have saved that wallpaper. Never mind. Let's go to settings and let's go to our display settings, then find liquid glass, and at first I'll show you an example. This is what it looks like right now. It is pretty transparent. Everything is pretty transparent, as well as here and everywhere. Everything is pretty transparent. If I set it to tinted, you can see it is way more readable. Depends on what you actually prefer. If you prefer this, then feel free to get this. But if you want a more clear look, feel free to stay with the clear look. Now we can find the vehicle motion clues, vehicle motion cues, and that is really good for motion sickness. I don't really get car sick, but sometimes I do if I'm on a long ride. And what I do is I enable vehicle motion cues. I'll show you that. Now in iOS 26, in 2026, you can also customize these cues. So let's get everything going. Let's go to settings and go to accessibility, because it will be found in accessibility. Now in motion, find vehicle motion cues, and you can set it to on, so it'll be always on. And you can see as car moves, it's pretty hard to demonstrate it now, but as the car moves, the dots will sort of change for you to have the cues, right? Or automatically in vehicle, it'll turn itself on. And now it is set so it's black when the background is white and white when the background is black. But you can customize the appearance. So it will be red, for example. It's really hard for me to demonstrate it. Oh, you can see something's moving, right? Okay, yeah. You can set different colors, any that you like. You can set a dynamic or a regular predictable pattern, depending on what you'd like. You can enable larger dots and get more dots if you'd like as well. I'll turn that off for now. And let's get to customizing folders in files. There's a lot of customization options in iOS 26, so let's get to our files option. And we'll surely have some folders here, right? Yeah, we do. And if you'd like to customize it, you can press and hold on it. Right, then click on Get Info. No, sorry. Okay, the folder needs to be created by you, so you can just press and hold somewhere, then new folder, and now you'll have the folder. You can press and hold on it and select customize folder and tags, and you can change the color of the folder. I believe, yeah, right, you can change the color. As you can see, there's different colors available. Let's set it to green, and let's add an emoji to it. you can add the icon, like for the one from the available ones, or just set an emoji. And now, once it is set, let's close that. And this is my folder now. That is really cool. Another thing is blocking contacts. When you block a contact now, in 2026, let's try blocking someone. Now that contact will be shown with that little icon, so you always know that contact is blocked. And in messages, when you go to that contact, I'll select that here. I cannot even do that, but if I blocked a contact I already had a conversation with, like that, then if I went here, you can see it shows you blocked this contact. In the past, it would just show you a field to type in the message, which doesn't make sense at all, right? So it's great that they have changed it. Now, let's see, because we can also go to settings and go to apps, then select either phone or messages, it doesn't matter. You just need to go there to find the blocked contacts option, and you'll have the list of all blocked contacts, so you can easily find them and possibly unblock them, or just know who's blocked. Now you can see something that is not the newest feature. It's actually quite old, but it's surprising that it still works because it's a really old feature on iPhone. When you do whatever on your iPhone and you like to undo it, you can shake your iPhone. And I'm speaking not only text. Of course, when you type in something like hey, and you'd like to delete that, you can shake your iPhone and tap undo. But now, what if I want to do something like follow us and then approve it, and let's say later on I accidentally delete it, then I should be able to shake, undo, and it appears. So that is great, but also it works in many different system apps. If I close a tab in Safari, I can shake my iPhone to undo closing a tab, and now that tab is open again. And as I said, it works in other system apps, so you can try that out and see where it works. Now, picture spatial scenes. We've already seen the spatial lock screen, but if you go to photos and select any photo that you'd like to use for a spatial scene, then you could click here on this little button, and it will make a spatial scene out of it. So you can now move your phone around, and you can see how pretty it looks and how well the spatial scene was made. That is really cool. Now, you can also see estimated charge time if you plug in a charger. This is a new feature, and it lets you know how long it will take for you to charge your phone. After finding the charger, which I needed to do, I'll now plug it in to my iPhone, and we'll see it starts charging, and shortly we should see the remaining time for the charge. Oh yeah, you can see 33 minutes to 80%. It is not the slowest charger, but also not the fastest one. If you get the dynamic Apple charger, which directly communicates with your phone, it gives you the fastest charging speed. So you may want to get that charger if you want to charge your phone really fast. Now, if you'd like to see charging to 100%, you can just go to settings, battery, and you'll see everything here. To 100%, it will be 1 hour and 20 minutes because it slows down the charging rapidly after 80% to preserve your battery life. More on battery life later. Now, another thing that you can do with your iPhone is alarm snooze duration. When you want to snooze an alarm, by default, in the past it would be 9 minutes of a snooze. You could change it in settings, but it would apply to all alarms. Now, you can easily change it for each alarm separately by going to Clock app, going to Alarms, selecting an alarm that you'd like to change. Actually, it's scheduled for for pretty soon, but it doesn't matter. You can change the snooze duration here from 1 minute to 15 minutes, which is, I think, really cool. Now I'll close that and we'll see everything else. I'd like to show you some camera things. On the newest iPhone, there is 2 features on the newest iPhones that are really worth looking into. I'm speaking iPhone 17, of course. The first one is the front camera now has a square sensor, which means you can do a landscape photo without rotating your iPhone, and it works really good because then your eyes don't look weird because the camera is at the top, not on the side. You can also zoom in or out, and you can do the same here. But you can also enable the feature called center stage here. Just set auto zoom and auto rotate to on, and now it'll automatically zoom and rotate depending on how it feels. Like if some more people join you to on the picture, it will automatically zoom or rotate so everyone can fit on the selfie. Then another thing, it works in video, which you can do by selecting the 6 dots in top right corner, dual capture, and now at the same time it will capture the rear and front camera, so so you can just record 2 things at once. That is cool. Then you'll find camera preserve settings in the settings app. If you go to camera, you'll find preserve settings, and now you can preserve different settings. I personally like having exposure adjustment set because now if I go to camera, if I set my exposure to something, which you can do by clicking here, then exposure should be here, but you just click and then you just change the exposure like that. Or click on the EV once preserve setting is enabled, and you can set it to whatever. Let's say minus 0.7. And now when I leave the camera app and reopen it, it's still on minus 0.7. You can also do that for like camera modes. So if you go to your camera app, select video, if you close the app and go back to the camera app, it still stays in video. So that is cool. Now, if you'd like to shoot in 48 megapixels, because now you don't have it, I mean, I do have it, but that's because I have it already enabled. But if you'd like to shoot in 48 megapixels, you would need to go to settings and then go to formats and resolution control on iPhone 17 and on 17 Pro and Pro Max. That is called differently because you need to enable ProRAW. So yeah, on my iPhone 17 Pro Max, it would be ProRAW and resolution control, and I would need to enable that. Now I would be able to go to camera, click here in top left corner and select 48 megapixels to have the full quality photo, to use what you paid for. Then you can also change recording video quality, which means if you go to video in the camera, you can of course set it manually, but by default it's always set to HD 30 and you need to change it yourself. But you can change what's the default by going to camera settings, record video, and set it to whatever you'd like here. I have it set to 4K 60 FPS because I record YouTube shorts with this iPhone and I just like it set to the best quality possible. Remember that here you have, it tells you how much gigabytes it'll use per a minute of recording at a certain resolution. Another thing is camera styles in the camera app. You can click on photo, and I think it also, does it work in video as well? Now, okay, in photo, most likely in portrait as well, you can click on 6 dots in the right corner and select styles. And now you'll have many different styles to choose from. As you can see, there are different styles here. For example, the amber one, you can adjust the tone and color yourself. You can see how it changes in real time. And you can also change the palette. And then shoot that photo, so not all your photos look the same. By the way, if you'd like to use the 6 dots in top right corner, you don't need to reach all the way here. You can just swipe up and it'll pop up. Now, video action mode. In video mode on newer iPhones, you will have the action mode, which will make your videos more stabilized. That is really good if you're recording videos while walking or especially while running. And I'll try to do a little performance for you, so you'll see how it works. Okay, I was shaking my phone a lot. I was doing something like that all the time. And now, as you see, if I go into the video, it is now stabilized. And I was shaking way more than it looks here. So that is how cool this feature is. It is especially really good for running. It really stabilizes your video. I would say it looks like from a gimbal. It looks like recorded on a gimbal, even though it's not. But it requires a lot of light, so you cannot use it at night because it would be too dark. Also now, for iPhone 16 and 17, there is a feature called camera control button. When you click on it, it opens the camera. But now let's go to the settings for a moment to open the camera in camera control. Now, make sure camera adjustments are on. That is really cool. Before we go into that, let's customize it. You can enable what controls will be available, and you can reorder them. Let's set it to, for example, I'll set it to exposure and zoom only. Then, when I go to the camera, and I want to use the camera adjustments, I need to lightly press on the camera control button, which means I need to press on it until there's there's this border between clicking and not clicking yet. And you need to apply that pressure. So it doesn't click yet, it just lightly press. You'll feel a haptic feedback, and now you can adjust it. You can adjust the current adjustment mode or double lightly press to switch to a different adjustment, and now I can change my exposure. I think that is really, really cool. Then you can press fully on the button to take that picture. Speaking of the camera control button, when you press and hold on it and you have Apple Intelligence enabled, then you can use visual intelligence, which will let you take a photo of something. Then it will automatically recognize it, but you can also search for similar things on Google or select this button to ask ChatGPT about it. You can see ChatGPT is now replying, and I can ask about more details. And you can do the same with screenshots. When you take a screenshot, you can ask ChatGPT or search for similar things on Google, or also translate it to another language. Now, let's go to the screenshot settings, because for screenshots, you can see now when I take a screenshot, it shows on full screen. You may like it because you can instantly edit it or ask Apple Intelligence about it. But if you don't like it, you can go to General, then go to Screen Capture. Now, you can disable it here, so you can see it now shows as this. You can enable automatically visual lookup, so it will automatically look up if there's some objects or places that appear in your screenshot. You can also enable CarPlay screenshots if you use it, and you can change the format of the screenshot. Now, let's go to another thing, because I think we have way more to see than just that. You know how you sometimes share something with AirDrop and you cannot find the person on the list? That is made really easy with Bring Devices Closer. Bring Device Together, that's how the feature is called. Now, when I select the photo and select share, and then I can just take my other iPhone or someone else's iPhone, tap them together, and you can see it immediately shows up on my iPhone that I can accept the photo, and shortly it will appear in my library. That is really good. You don't need to search for that person. That person doesn't need to have AirDrop enabled. But the only thing that is important is that they need to have this feature enabled, which they most likely have by default. In settings in general, then AirDrop and continuity, you just need to have that feature enabled, which I don't have. Sorry, not AirPlay and AirDrop. And bringing devices together should be enabled. Now it'll work, even if receiving of AirDrop is disabled. Then another thing is adaptive battery for your iPhone to save your battery a little bit more, so you have a higher battery life, but it doesn't really compromise your performance. To do that, go to settings, go to battery, and go to battery power mode. Make sure adaptive power is enabled. I like the notifications to be disabled because I don't really want it to to notify me about it. I just want it to work. So adaptive power is the way to go. Speaking of battery, there's a few other things. First is charging. You can enable optimized battery charging, which is really great because it learns your charging habits and adjusts the patterns accordingly. So for example, when you plug your phone in at night, it will learn what time you're expected to unplug it, and then pause charging after hitting 80% and finish charging up to 100 shortly before you unplug it. So your iPhone's battery doesn't get overcharged overnight. Now, another thing that I don't like myself, but if you want it, you can enable a charge limit, which means your iPhone will not charge over a certain limit. You can set it to 80, 85, 90, 95, or 100%. I would rather recommend setting it to 90 if you really want to set it to whatever. 80 is, I think, just a little too extreme. I don't set the charge limit myself because I want to use what I paid for. I want to use the whole battery, and I know that battery life degrades, but even if you have a charge limit, it will degrade, but slower. But you still get less battery life because you have the limit enabled all the time, and only occasionally it'll charge itself to 100% sometimes without your user input, because it needs to recalibrate the battery so the battery doesn't misbehave after being charged to 80% all the time. So yeah, I prefer it at 100%, to be honest. I have it set to 100%, but I just wanted to share it with you because some people like it. Now, in battery health, on newer iPhones, you can find cycle count. So you'll know how many times your battery has been charged from 0 to 100%, and that lets you know whether you should maybe replace your battery already. Typical replacement times are after 2 or 3 years of using a phone. And also you can see the maximum capacity. Now, another thing is allowing access when locked, and it's in your security and privacy settings. So let's go to settings, Face ID and passcode, enter your Face ID, just passcode, and then you'll find another feature which will be here, allow access when locked. And here you can allow access to different things when your iPhone is locked, or disallow it. So if someone gets your iPhone, they won't be able to do different things. For example, you can disable Siri when your iPhone is locked. You can also disable lock screen widgets or enable them. You can disable home control, you can disable a notification center, control center, and everything. Now you can see that when my iPhone is locked, I cannot access notifications nor the control center, and I cannot access Siri. But when I unlock it, I can do all these things again. So yeah, that is how it works. Now let's try going to another thing in those Face ID and passcode settings, which is erasing your iPhone. But this should only be enabled if you have backup enabled on your iPhone, because if you don't, then you may lose your data. When you scroll all the way down, you can enable erase data. What it means, if someone fails to enter your passcode 10 times, your data on your iPhone will be erased. But remember to have backup on, because if someone does it and you lose your data, then it will be lost. So make sure you have backup on your iCloud, and then feel free to enable it, so your iPhone is more secure, because no one will be able to guess your password unless they don't guess it in the first 10 tries. Now, let's go to some other features which are extremely useful for iPhones of the Plus series or Pro Max, which are bigger than typical iPhones, than base iPhones, and you may want to enable some features to help you reach your keyboard and your screen better. When you go to anywhere where your keyboard is, you can press and hold on the globe icon and then select the keyboard to the left or to the right side. Now it is smaller, so it is easier to access with your thumb. I think it is extremely useful on my Pro Max, which is just really difficult to operate without this feature. So what I do is I just move it to the right side and I can use it. I can also move it to the left side if I want to use it left-handed. Now another feature that lets you use your phone with one hand is reachability. Just slide down at the bottom of your screen and it moves the top of your screen down, and then you can just slide it up like that or tap anywhere at the top and it'll bring itself back. To enable that feature, because it may not be enabled by default, you may need to enable reachability. To do it, go to accessibility and then find touch and make sure reachability is on. Now another thing, you can see, I'll for a moment disable a focus mode, and you can see there is this silent mode indicator, because I can turn my silent mode off or on. I can do it here, or if I have something else assigned to the action button, I can do it like that. And I have silent mode enabled all the time, and I don't really need this icon. So what I do is I go to settings and then just go to my, in the settings, go to my sounds and haptics, and then disable show in status bar, because I know I have silent mode on. Then while still in sounds and haptics, let's go to keyboard feedback. I don't like the sound of keyboard. I don't want it, because why would I need it? But I like the haptics. It feels really snappy, but it doesn't interrupt other people around me. So now I can feel a little vibration in my hand when I'm typing, but I don't hear it. So that's great. Now in Safari, you know how you sometimes open an article and it has those videos being displayed on top, it has everything, and it's really annoying, and you can actually hide those things on your iPhone with a new option called hide distractions. I'll try to find an article like this and then I'll show you. Yeah, I opened some article and you can see it has all those ads and everything, and this video at the top, which I hate. I don't really want it here, and I cannot even close it. I cannot even close it here. What I can do is click on this little icon on the left side of the name of the website, and then hide distracting items, or if you can't find it, click on 3 dots and then you'll find it somewhere here. I'll select the hide distracting items, then select the item to hide and tap on hide. Now it is hidden. It is not there anymore. I can approve it. Now let's go somewhere else. Let's go hide this ad. You can also do it. Click on it, and then click on hide, and it's hidden. If you'd like to bring the hidden items back, just show hidden items, show, and it's here. So that is really cool. Now you can disable notifications for some apps you don't need, for less distractions and also for battery saving. Let's go to settings and let's go to notifications, which that option should be somewhere here, right? Yeah, it's here. And then you can find all the apps, and let's say, what apps do I need notifications from? Most likely not PUBG. I have it off. Okay. Let's go to maybe some other app I don't need notifications from, which would be for sure like let's say Instagram edits. I don't really need notifications from that, so I can either disable them or just disable lock screen and banners and leave them in notification center, and that's it. So that saves your battery for sure. Now, speaking of apps, doing stuff with apps, you can lock and hide your apps for better privacy. To do it, you can select an app that you'd like to hide or lock. Let's say I want PUBG. I'll put it on my home screen because I don't have it on my home screen right now. And let's press and hold on it. Then require Face ID. And tap on Require Face ID, then confirm with your Face ID. Now, if anyone tries to open the app, they will need to provide the Face ID. So let's get my face here. And now I can use it because it's unlocked with Face ID. You can also hide an app completely. Let's try selecting maybe Gmail. Let's press and hold on it, require Face ID, hide and require Face ID, then approve it and click on Hide App. Now to find it, go to your app library and find Hidden. Open with Face ID, and now it appears here. You can click on it now to open it. That is, I think, really sick. Let's go to the next feature, which is locking notes. You can lock your notes with a password if you have anything important in your notes that you don't want anyone to see. Let's now press and hold on it. Lock note. Enter your iPhone passcode, and you can enable Face ID to be able to unlock the note. Now, this note is currently unlocked. If I want to lock it, click on Lock Now. Now it is locked. To open it, I would need to provide my Face ID or passcode. That, I think, is also really cool. In the past, you would be able to also set a password, a separate password for your notes, but I think now it's just the option that you have here. Now, if you'd like to reorganize your home screen, you can actually do that pretty quickly by pressing and holding on an app. And if you'd like to move several apps at once, you can use 2 fingers to group them together. And now let's move them to another screen like that. So that makes everything really easy and makes it all quicker. Then with widgets, I think I told you earlier that I'll show you more about widget stacks. You can see I have a stack here, and I can create one as well. Let's maybe open another page here and click on Edit, Add Widget, and I'll add a widget, let's say ChatGPT. There are different sizes. I'll choose this one. Then I'll click on Edit, Add Widget, and let's add another widget from Photos, for example. Let's add this widget. Now you can see they take up a lot of space on my home screen. What I can do is press and hold on one widget, drop it onto another one, and now I have a stack of these widgets, so I can just slide around them pretty easily. As I said, for Photos, I'll actually display them in full color, and that's how it works now. Pretty cool. Okay, now once we know that, let's go to screen distance. It is especially useful for children, but I actually do tend to hold my phone too close to my face, and if I want to save my eyes, because eye damage is irreversible, you may actually want to go to screen time on your iPhone, go to screen distance, continue, turn it on, and now when it detects your iPhone is so close to your eyes, then it'll tell you that your iPhone should be held further. Now let's set up emergency and SOS features so you can use them whenever you need them, because you never know when. Let's go to settings, emergency SOS, and make sure call, withhold, and release is enabled. That means when you press and hold power and either of the volume buttons, then it will start. You can see I need to hold them for a little longer, and then it'll start counting down, and then it'll call emergency services in your region and notify them about everything. You can see if I release, it stops counting down, but if I held it for longer, it would actually call. And also it does an alarm, as you can hear. Now you can also call with 3 button presses. As you can see, it does the same thing. I'm gonna stop that. And that is also pretty useful. Now, also with those emergency stuff, you can set up emergency contacts. You can just edit those contacts here, and then your contacts will be notified about your emergency as well. You can also enable call quietly if you'd like to do it quietly, and you can also do an automatical call once it detects a serious crash. But of course it cannot detect all crashes, but it has detected many, and it's proved by different people that it actually worked for them. Now, another feature which I absolutely love but some absolutely hate, so make sure you change it up to your preference, is raise to wake. When you raise your phone, it automatically wakes, so it's ready to go. You can see I raise my phone, it's laying flat, I'm raising it, and it turns on. That I think is great because it lets you turn on your phone without clicking on anything. It's really fast, but if you don't like it, if you think that your phone's screen is turning on too often, you can just go to your display and brightness and disable raise to wake. I'll leave that on though. Then you can also, on some of the newer iPhones, but also on the older ones, you can find torch and you can actually adjust it. On the newer iPhones, you will have it on the dynamic island. You can click on it and adjust the strength of your torch, which really adjusts it. I'll show you that. You can see it does. On Pro series iPhones, doing that will actually also let you change the width of your light. You can see it does do it. It does really do it. It may not be visible on the video, but it does work. And you can also change it here. On older iPhones though, you would need to just press and hold on the torch, and then it would show a pop-up, and you could change the strength as well. Now let's customize our action button, which appears on iPhones 15, 16 and 17. Go to settings, then go to your action button in the settings. Now you can set it to whatever you like here. So maybe if you don't change your silent mode too often, there's something else that you'd like to change more often, and you can change it here. Let's, for example, select voice memo, and now whenever I quickly want to record a voice memo, I can just press and hold. It'll start recording immediately once I press and hold, and then if I want to stop it, I can press and hold again, and it's finished. Okay, now it's time for standby mode. Standby mode is useful if you have a phone stand, especially the MagSafe ones, near your bed, and you want to display the clock or something else as well on your iPhone. I'll actually do it on my other iPhone because I have Apple Music there, and I'd like to show you something with Apple Music, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, it can be wired or wireless. I have it wired right now, and as you can see, it displays my clock, but I can also switch to other types of a clock. I can also swipe left or right. Here I could change to photos, but I don't really want to do it on the video. And then I could also change to this version, which lets me select 2 different widgets based on what I actually want to display. And now I'll show you how to enable it. In settings, go to standby. Now make sure it's enabled. It'll always work whenever your phone is in a horizontal rotation and plugged into power. Then you can set display, and you can set it to turn display off automatically after 30 seconds or never. You can also enable night mode, which will display everything in red tint in low ambient lighting, which is great because red color is less distracting at night. And yeah, that is basically it. Now it's time for another thing. You can, if you want to download an app that you previously had and you don't want to search for it, you maybe don't remember the name, or you have multiple ones to download that you previously already had, but you would need to search for them manually, you can actually go to App Store, select your icon in top right corner, and then select apps, then my apps, not on this iPhone, and you'll see all the apps that used to be on your iPhone but are not there anymore, and then you can just download them pretty easily by clicking on the cloud icon. Now it's time for another thing, a new feature with mail. If you send a mail, sometimes you'd like to undo send, and well, typically it is unavailable because that's how mail works. But you can actually go to your settings, apps, and go to mail, which will be here. Then you can easily find the option called delay, undo send delay, and you can set it to off 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or 30 seconds, and that is the time that you'll have to undo send of your mail if you'd like to just undo it because you did it accidentally. But of course it'll also delay the time the email gets sent, but I think it's still fine, right? 30 seconds is fine, unless you really want to do it quickly with those mails. Now, one more thing when it comes to mails is actually receiving mails from Apple. If you'd like to reduce the number of mails received from Apple, you can go to settings, go to your account on the top, and then go to personal information, and you'll find communication preferences there. Once it loads, it takes a moment to load because it needs to load the data from the internet. Let's go to communication preferences, and now we can disable these here, so it reduces the amount of emails you get from Apple. Now, something cool which will be found in Sounds and Haptics is setting a custom vibration pattern, so you know whether you received an email or a calendar alert or reminder alert by just feeling the vibration. You don't need to know anything else, you don't need to check it, you feel it in your pocket and you immediately know. Let's go to text tone, for example, go to haptics, and you can select one of the different haptics here, or click on create new vibration, and now tap to create the vibration pattern. Let's do it. Okay, this is now my vibration pattern. If I save it, and then it will play like this, and I can do it for different types of alerts, so I always know where the alert comes from. Now, it's time for another thing with notifications. If you go to your accessibility and then go to hearing, I believe, hearing or not, I'll actually need to find that. Yes, hearing, audio and visual, and then flash for alerts, you can enable it, and then your phone's flashlight will flash whenever you get an alert. You can enable or disable it while the phone is unlocked and while in silent mode, and you can do LED flash, screen flash, or both. Let's do both and let's see how it works. But most likely you'd like to just have the LED flash so you can always see whenever you get a notification. I'll try sending a message to myself and seeing how it looks. Was it delivered? I don't know. Yeah, I forgot. Never mind. I don't have access to notifications while locked because I have disabled it. So hold on a second. I've also enabled it for a moment to flash while unlocked so we can all see it really good. You can see now it flashes my iPhone screen really hard. So I did see that notification now. Let's try doing that on the lock screen as well. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it is really bright. And on the back, you can see it flashes my flashlight. So I would only set it to the flashlight, not the front of the screen. But just so you know, this is how it works. Now I have the brightness to low. I'll disable it for now. And let's see another thing, which is back tap. It is sort of a hidden button on your iPhone. If you go to your accessibility settings, then go to touch and go to back tap, you can set double tap or triple tap. Let's do double tap, and I'll set it to maybe front camera. Why not? And now, when I double tap on the back of my iPhone, it automatically opens front camera. Let's do triple tap to camera, no, maybe not camera control, maybe home. Yeah, let's do home. It goes to home screen. You can also disable showing the banner if you don't like it, and then it'll just work. And yeah, this is how it works. I do like it for TikTok, for example. If I'm watching TikToks, I have two double tap set to the scroll down and triple tap to scroll up, and then I don't need to use my thumb if I'm doom scrolling TikTok. Now it's time to get a little dynamic island guide. If you have the iPhone 14 Pro or Pro Max or 15 line or 16 series or the 17 series, you have the dynamic island, and now it has lots of different features. For example, if you're playing some music, then it is being displayed in your dynamic island. What you can do is not only tap on it to open music app, but you can also press and hold to have this little widget which doesn't cover up your whole screen. And you can now move to another song or something like that. You can also do it with the voice memos. When you start recording, it starts recording here. You can press and hold and stop it. You can do the same with like screen recording. If I add it to my control center, more on control center later, you can start recording. You can see it shows up here, and now whenever I just tap on it, I can stop recording, and that's it. There's way more other options. There can be two actions going on at once, like for example, if I go to clock, if I set a time or maybe a stopwatch, then let's also start recording voice memos. You can see now I have two actions going on at once. I can just press and hold on them, and that's how it works. That is pretty cool. I'll stop recording. By the way, you can also hide the live action if you don't like to see it for now, and unhide it by just sliding left or right. I'll stop it for now, so let's pause the stopwatch and let's go to another thing, which is disallowing apps from tracking. You most likely don't want to get tracked by different apps. So what you can do about it is going to settings, then you can go to your privacy and security, then tracking, and you can allow apps to request to track. You can disable it and then ask apps to stop tracking, and then you won't get tracked by your apps. Another thing is adjusting your location preferences, which is also here. You can go to location services and now select the apps that you don't need to use your location. For example, I don't really think that some of these apps, for example, my X app, right, my Twitter, should be using my location. Let's set it to never. I don't really need location on Twitter. Okay, now it is time to adjust location preferences. It's done. So the background app refresh, which also I believe should be somewhere here, or maybe not. Yeah, it's going to be in general. In general, there's background app refresh, and now for apps you don't need to refresh in the background, you can just disable it to save your battery. You can do it for apps that you don't need notifications from. Because if you need a notification from an app, then background app refresh should be enabled so it can refresh and get the notification delivered. But also apps that connect to external devices, like for example, apps that connect with your smartwatches or some other home appliances, they should also have the background app refresh. But for example, I think that my games shouldn't have it, so I'll disable it for my games, and that's how it works. As I said earlier, there will be some background, control center customization. Now, by default, it looks sort of like this. It has some features, pretty cool, but you may want to have a little bit better control center. Now, what I do always, because I'm not a fan of these pages on the control center, is let's go to edit mode by clicking on plus in top left corner, and I just delete anything what's on all the other pages. So let's just delete that. Of course, you can use multiple pages if you like. I don't like it, so I do it like that. And now I just have one page, and I can easily close my control center. But of course, if you want, you can have multiple pages. Now you can resize your controls. You can move them to a different place. You can resize them even further, like that, or some of them can be resized further, like for example this one, which can be resized like that, or even more, but I don't really want to do it now. And yeah, you can do a lot of things here. Some people complain about this new connectivity control. You can just get rid of it, click on add control, and add the ones that you need. So let's go to connectivity and let's add Wi-Fi. Let's add personal hotspot separately, AirDrop, cellular data, airplane mode, and Bluetooth. I don't need VPN, so that is how it is. And maybe let's extend the calculator app for whatever reason, and the camera app for whatever reason. Now you can see this is my customized control center. Pretty cool, isn't it? Then let's customize something else, our Photos app. In Photos app, now in iOS 26 you have 2 tabs, but in the Collections tab you have lots of different things here, and not all of them you need. You can click on 3 dots in top right corner, reorder, and get rid of some of them. At least reorder them. You can't really get rid of them, but By default, the utilities are typically on the bottom, but I like them at the top. You can see I can also like fold them and unfold them, but the utilities, I like them at the top because I have hidden photos here, and I do use them quite a lot. Also recently deleted, I do use it quite a lot, and some other things like, for example, handwriting. So you can find handwriting somewhere. There's some little handwriting. Yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, so I do use utilities, media types as well, and about hidden photos, it is really cool to use them because you can hide your photos here and they are hidden with your Face ID. In order to do it, which is another feature, is selecting a photo, clicking on three dots in top right corner and clicking hide, then clicking on it again, and now it is hidden. So that is cool. Now, in the Photos tab, you can use search, and it's pretty advanced. You can search for example, plant, and then it'll show you all pictures of plants that you have. But you can also search for pets. And well, I don't really have pets here. But if I had, then it would find some. Maybe let's see if I have some coffee. I don't have a coffee picture. Person. And there's people, all the people here. So that is also pretty cool. And also, if you'd like to find a certain person, you can find People tab. And then I just have one person's photos here. But as you can see, it all shows up here. And I can see everything connected to that person on the photo. And it works great. In my personal phone gallery, I have my pictures from all across different years, and I've been changing a lot, and it really recognizes me on all of them, even if they are like 5 years apart. Now let's see some call features. In calling, you can find the new feature called screening calls. It'll screen your unknown calls and ask them for the reason of calling, so you know whether to pick up or not. Like your iPhone will automatically ask them about that. And to do that, go to apps, then go to phone. Now in phone, find well, I don't really see it here. I don't know why, because I used to see it. It used to be there. Hold on a second. Most likely it is because of the region set on my iPhone, but if you have a different region, you should be able to find here 3 different options. One of them would be silence unknown callers, like here, but one of them would be screening, and it'll actually screen your unknown callers. Then another feature, which also is unavailable in my region, but I know it works in different regions, is call hold assist. You know that stuff when you try to call some help desk, for example, and you're on hold and there's this music playing in the background and it says you're 15th in the line. It is just really annoying that you need to sit through, and in regions that support it, you will be able to enable call hold assist, and that will automatically recognize when the call hold ends, and when someone actually picks up, it will notify you instantly, and you'll be able to move on to that call. When the phone is on hold, you can do something else without listening to that hold music all the time. Now it's time for a text replacement. This is a cool feature that lets you speed up some processes, like, for example, typing in your phone number or your email somewhere. If you have a long surname in your email, you probably know the struggle. You can go to settings, then general, then keyboard, and text replacement. Now I have many different here, and let's click on plus. Then phrase that you'd like to put in. Let's do HardReset.Info. 1@gmail.com, and then go to a shortcut, and I'll do like I already have like double @ set to something, so I'll do a 111, save, and now whenever I want to fill it in somewhere, then I can just type in the triple or double @ and it fills it in for me. So that is pretty cool. That is really cool, and that's how you can use it. Now, speaking of the control center customization, let's go back to it and let's add one cool control, which is ambient music. It's a really new feature, and you can select sleep, chill, productivity, or well-being. I do like the sleep one. Sometimes when I have trouble going to sleep, I just click on it and it starts playing some ambient music. Just whenever I click on it, it just starts playing it. So it helps me go to sleep because it's just really, really chill. But you can also add the chill one, the productivity one, or the other one that was available there. And now it's time to scan text from photos. I'll do a photo of something that has text on it. Now with that photo, I could click on that thing and click on this little button here, but before I do it, I'll rotate the image so we can see it a little better. Okay, let's click on that little button here, and it recognizes some text that is shown on the image. I could select it and copy it, and it also has found the like website available here, so I could click on it and it'll automatically go into that website, which is really cool. Speaking of scanning things, you can also scan QR codes with your iPhone. There's a chance you know it, but let me show you something. I have a QR code here, and you can scan it by opening your camera, pointing it on it, and tapping on it. But if you have a picture of a QR code already saved on your iPhone, or if you've screenshotted a QR code, you can still scan it in your phone's gallery. To do it, go to that picture, press and hold on that. Actually, tap on this button first. That would be easier. Click on this like text recognition button, tap on the QR code and open it. Pretty easy, right? Now, there is a feature that I also have learned recently, which is saving reminders to PDF. If you have different reminders and you'd like to share them with someone, but you don't want to collaborate, you just want to print it out, and then you can do it pretty easily by clicking on 3 dots in top right corner, then print. And now you'll have all the pages, and you can print them. As you can see, here are the pages. That's how they look like. And I could print them or just save them to a PDF by clicking on Save to Files after clicking on Share button. So that is, I think, cool. Now let's do some Find My Stuff. If your iPhone gets lost, you can always find it by logging into Find My on any different device. I'll go to my computer and I'll show you. When I go to iCloud.com, I can click on Sign In and then enter my email or phone number connected with my Apple account. Then enter the password. And now it will send a verification code to my devices, but if all of them are lost or if I just have one Apple device, I can still click Find Devices even if I don't have the verification code. And now you can see my iPhone is somewhere here. I think this is going to be the one. Is this iPhone 17? Yes. And I can play a sound if it's somewhere near me. Let's do it. It will play a sound, so I can find it if it's somewhere near, but I can't just really locate it like in a car or at home. It doesn't really want to connect now, but you get the idea, I guess. You can mark it as lost, so it won't work. Because it'll be lost until like it will show a screen on your iPhone saying this iPhone was lost, and you'll see a number like to call you, the other person. Oh yeah, now it connected. I'll just unlock the iPhone. Yeah, that was the sound. Yeah, the lost iPhone will display a screen saying the iPhone was lost and the phone number to call when the iPhone was found. You can also erase it remotely or remove it from your app, Find My Devices, but don't remove it because then your iPhone can be used by anyone once it's removed from here. We're slowly getting to the end of this video. There's just a few more things I'd like to share. So, bear with me. Let's go to our default apps. You can change default apps on your iPhone. I think that for sure it is available in European Union, that feature. I'm not sure if it's available in the United States, but you can check that out yourself. If you go to apps and select an app that is default for something, like for example mail, it is default for receiving mails. I can click on default mail app, and if I have Gmail, but I have it hidden. That's why it's not available here. If it wasn't hidden, I could select it here. If you have a different thing like a browser, for example, let's go to Safari. Then you can select default browser app, and if you have had a different browser downloaded on your iPhone, you could select that as well. And the same goes to phone app, messages app, and everything else. Now it's time to identify laundry symbols. I'm that kind of person that doesn't do laundry too often, and I just don't understand the laundry symbols. So that comes really helpful to me because your iPhone can identify laundry symbols. I'll take a picture of my laundry, of my clothes etiquette, and you'll see how it works. I've taken this picture now, and now if I slide up, you'll see Lookup washing care. Click on it, then click on continue, and now it'll tell you not to bleach, not to tumble dry, ironing max 110 Celsius, and do not dry clean. So that is, I think, really good that it shows me all these pictures, all these things. Of course, here's the temperature of washing, so that is, I think, easy to understand, and that is really cool because I never really understand these pictograms. Now, let's do something else with our photos. Again, the photos. There's a lot of things in photos on iPhones, so we'll need to get something from the photos again. You can cut out something from the photo, either to copy it or to use it as a sticker in iMessage. Let's find this pigeon. Let's press and hold on the pigeon. It's a live photo, so it won't let me press and hold on it. For a moment, I'll take the live off, just so I can hold on the pigeon. And now I can send it to someone in iMessage. You can see, there's the pigeon. I can send it. And it is sent as a picture, but if I want it, I could click on plus, I could click on stickers, and then go to stickers here, click on plus, and generate a new sticker based on a photo that I have. Let's say maybe the pigeon again. And now let's click on plus, and now it's my sticker. I can now put it on some messages, stick it on, and that's great. Now, there's time to use your keyboard as a trackpad. If you're writing something down and you've forgotten a word maybe, or misspelled something, you can press and hold on the spacebar and your keyboard turns into a trackpad. Now you can slide precisely and add that word that you missed. Perfect. Now it's time to do quick actions with haptic touch for many different apps, including Safari. You can press and hold, and now you can very easily start a new tab. I do that whenever I search for something that I don't want people to look at, and I'm in public somewhere and I was just Googling some stupid stuff and I don't want people to see that. Then I just press and hold, start a new tab, and it's like that always. You can also do like messages, for example, press and hold and text your favorite contact. You can do music, press and hold and play your most recent. You can press and hold on calendar and add an event. You can press and hold on clock and create an alarm. So many things going on here. Okay. Now it is time for in-app ratings and reviews. Maybe you know that feeling when you open an app and it asks you for some in-app ratings and reviews, and it wants you to rate the app and you don't want to do it. It's just distracting. You never want to do it, honestly. And if you'd like to disable it, you can do it. To do it, just go to apps, then go to App Store, which is at the very top, most likely. Then go to in-app ratings and reviews and disable it, and it won't ask you for reviews anymore. So that is cool. Then go to, you can actually disable keyboard character preview, which is used to be on by default. Now I think by default it's disabled. The preview is this pop-up that shows above the key that you're typing on. If you'd like to disable it, because you don't want it, you can go to settings, go to your general, then keyboard, and disable character preview. Now when I'm typing, it doesn't show the preview at the top. Whatever you like. Then a few more things is customizing your focus modes. You can do it here. It's gonna be a little more complex, but I really want to share it with you. If you go to focus, you'll find all these different focus modes. I can remove some if I don't want them anymore. I'll delete this one because it's just because it was there, it wouldn't let me add another new one. Let's click on plus. Now let's add a custom one. You can add color and an icon and name, of course. Next, customize focus, and now you can do intelligent breakthrough and silencing. That will just intelligently do that, but also you can customize it yourself by allowing or disallowing people. If I set allow notifications from, then everyone will be silenced besides people that I add to the list. Or if I set silence notifications from, everyone will be allowed besides people added to the list. If I go to apps, I can allow app notifications from these apps or silence notifications from these apps. Then I could choose the screens, like lock screen and home screen, how it'll look, and turn on and off pages on the home screen to sort of limit distractions. So you can do that here. You can add a schedule, and that is basically what you can do with focus modes. I think that is pretty cool. By the way, there's many different videos on focus modes on our channel if you'd like more in-depth on that. But on most things that I'm showing you today, there are videos on the channel. So you can watch that if you'd like more in-depth explanation for anything. You can see I have percentage in the top right corner, and you may not have it. And if you want to enable it so you can know what your percentage is, then you can go to settings and go to battery. Then scroll all the way down, find battery percentage. When I disable it, I can still find it when I open Control Center. But if I enable it, I see it all the time now. Now, two last things that I'd like to show you. If you go to Wi-Fi, you can click on Edit, open your, enter your Face ID, and you'll see all your saved Wi-Fi networks. Now you can click on the eye icon next to them to see their password. So if I'd like to see the password for that, oh no, there's no password here anymore. There really used to be a password, or maybe it is there. I think it's not for the networks that were transferred from my other phone and not entered here, but on the networks I have connected manually to, on this iPhone, on this exact one, I can click on the password and view the password. And I can also do that for currently connected network by clicking on the password, and you can see it is there. Now, the last thing is a little more complex, but it will be useful, especially if you ever plan to give your phone away, especially to a very young child or to an elderly person who's not really experienced with phones. You can enable something that I'd call a simple mode. To do it, go to Accessibility and go to Assistive Access, set it up, by click on Continue, and now you can go through the setup. I'll continue with the same Apple account. You can select a rows or grid. I'll select a grid. You can add different apps. Let's add maybe calls, camera, photos, and maybe books. Continue. I'll just set it up real quick, but set a passcode to access it. Then not now. Continue. Okay. I'm setting up real quick because I don't want to make the video too long. It's already an hour and 40 minutes. Now, this is the code. The passcode to Assistive Access should be unknown by the person who's gonna use the phone with Assistive Access on, because it's just for you, so you can do some changes and that person cannot do them accidentally. Now you can see how simple the iPhone is. That's the whole iPhone. When it's locked, if it's locked, it's locked. You can just open, enter the passcode, and it's unlocked. I think you can also open it with Face ID. I'm not sure. Yeah. You can go to calls. You can see it's really easy here. There's contacts as well, but there's also favorites. You can also customize it so that person, for example, can only call favorites, not all contacts. You can go to camera. It is also really simple. Just take photo. That's it. You can go to photos. It is also super simple and big icons. You can even increase the text size. And books. This is actually not optimized. You can see this app is not optimized, so it displays as a normal one with just a big back button. And that's it. That's how it works. And once you triple click on the side button, you do emergency, you do settings, or exit Assistive Access. If I go to settings, I can adjust a few settings here, but I'll just exit the Assistive Access, and that's it. These are all the features, all the tips, tricks, features on your iPhone that I wanted to show you. There were 100. I would say even more because some of them I could split to a few other ones. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you liked some of these tips and tricks. Let me know in the comments down below which one of them you liked. And feel free to share the video with anyone who owns an iPhone. If you know anyone who owns a Samsung Galaxy, there's also a video about that. And feel free to like, subscribe, and see more videos on our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.